finally came up to headquarters?
Nostalgia.
That was like 30 seconds ago, nostalgia.
Inside Out 2 reintroduced Riley Anderson to the audience alongside her core 5 emotions that help her navigate everyday life. However, the sequel also invites new emotions into the story, each with a unique purpose and desire to help Riley throughout the next stage of her life. Anxiety, envy, embarrassment, and ennui elevate the story with unique personalities by adding more layers to everything Riley feels as she enters her teenage years. A fifth emotion, nostalgia, also makes a surprise appearance throughout the film. However, the others send her away whenever she enters headquarters to lament Riley's experiences. They claim that nostalgia isn't needed for another decade after Riley finishes school and enters adulthood. They don't appear surprised to see nostalgia. Their casual way of regarding her makes them appear well acquainted. It begs the question, are there other emotions in Riley's mind waiting for the appropriate time to enter headquarters, as anxiety and the others did? In today's video, we'll discuss 5 secret emotions that may exist in the Inside Out franchise.
I'm one of Riley's new emotions, and we are just super jazzed to be here. Where can I put my stuff?
Number 1. Love. One of the first emotions that could quickly appear in headquarters would be love. Love comes in many forms, like familiar, platonic, and romantic. As of the second film, Riley has expressed all 3 types of love, with her values about family and friends feeling strong enough to power islands of personality. An emotion like love could help Riley express how she feels about her loved ones and favorite people. As Riley ages, she puts more energy and effort into her friendships, causing the resulting island to overshadow Family Island. Love could be responsible for the change, as Riley begins to prioritize the company and opinions of her friends like Grace and Bree. Love is also likely to appear in future films, as Riley has recently expressed interest in relationships and developed crushes. The change must have occurred in the past 2 years, as in Riley's first date, she claims Jordan is a friend and seems unbothered by the notion that they may be going on a date together. However, Joy and the others encounter Mount Crushmore in the sequel, showing Jordan and a few others as Riley's top crushes. If Riley chooses to pursue a serious relationship in high school, love could help her navigate that change. Love may also help Riley close the gap between herself and her parents. From what we've witnessed, Mr. and Mrs. Anderson genuinely care for Riley, supporting her passion, celebrating her achievements, and embracing her hard times. It's not uncommon for teenagers to break away from their parents as they become independent. Still, love can help Riley return when she's ready, allowing Family Island to regain its original status in Riley's mind. Love may even be hiding there in the current timeline, watching over Riley's relationships and ensuring she maintains strong emotional connections from afar.
Which actually was really lucky, because that gave us plenty of time to think about what our new house is going to look like. What? Let's review the top 5 daydreams.
Number 2. Pride. While some may view pride as an emotion with many drawbacks and consequences, it can also be a good thing, encouraging others to reach new heights and feel ambitious in their endeavors. Riley expresses pride throughout the beginning of the sequel. She's proud of her role as a hockey player, believing it's one of her best talents and something she's good at. She's also proud of her status as a good person, as the belief is a recurring claim and statement from her original sense of self. However, any of her pride and confidence is overshadowed by some of her other emotions, including anxiety and embarrassment. Pride as a character could be enough to overshadow some of the more worried emotions. For example, anxiety wanted Riley to overwork herself to become the best player at the camp, while ennui convinced Riley to act uncaring about some of her interests, like her favorite musical group. Pride can help Riley feel confident in these parts of herself, asserting that she doesn't need to change herself to fit in. However, too much pride can indeed be a bad thing. If pride were to take complete control of headquarters like anxiety or overwhelm the control panel like sadness, Riley could become vain or incapable of recognizing her mistakes and shortcomings. She may want to be the center of attention, perhaps boasting about her achievements and trying to one-up those around her, as she does during the final hockey game at camp, albeit for different reasons.
We hit the ice early and practiced like we've never practiced before.
Number 3. Gloom. Gloom is an emotion that plays an antagonistic role in the first film. In the earliest concepts for Inside Out, the film's creator and staff writers wanted the story's antagonist to have a physical form like Joy and the others. Gloom was designed to be a male emotion with a great color scheme and dressed in a suit and tie. However, they decided to change directions, making him an invisible and shadowy force in the franchise. Gloom appears as darkness and shadows, becoming stronger as Riley falls deeper into despair and depression. When Riley decides to run away, he overruns headquarters, making it impossible for the other emotions to reach her and convincing her to abandon the idea entirely. His presence is shown most notably when the control panel goes dark, making Riley numb to everything she feels. Although Gloom is already a canonical presence in the franchise, he doesn't have a prominent role to play in the sequel, even though Anxiety seems like she would be especially susceptible to his influence. However, his absence during Riley's summer camp doesn't mean he isn't lurking somewhere in her mind, waiting to come back and use his influence. He may exist in the chasm where Riley's forgotten memories reside, or he may live in the recesses of her mind, as both locations are dark, quiet, and devoid of life. He may have had a hand in Joy's despair in the sequel, mainly because he's nearly undetectable and unknown by the other emotions.
Manage your calendar, walk your dog, carry your things, watch you sleep.
Wow, you have a lot of energy.
Number 4. Hope. Hope is an emotion instilled in most people from a young age. It's the feeling of looking forward to something that inspires someone to set goals and achieve their dreams. Hope can come in a variety of forms and influence many different things. Children feel hopeful for holidays or significant events. In Riley's case, she felt optimistic at the end of the sequel as she waited to hear about making the Firehawks team. As an emotion, hope is an instinctual response to situations, and people can have more or less of it based on their mindsets and experiences. While Joy seems to maintain hope and optimism among her emotions, that's not her primary function, and she struggles to keep a smile at all times. In the sequel, there are numerous moments when Joy can't find an upbeat solution to Riley's complex problems. She doesn't know how to help when the other campers speak negatively against Riley, she doesn't know how to get everyone through the maze of long-term memory, and she becomes dejected when Anxiety destroys the recall system to headquarters. Hope could keep a positive outlook even when Joy can't. Their purpose is not to find solutions or solve complex problems, only to encourage Riley that everything will work out or be okay. Hope's presence could also help other emotions like anxiety and fear, helping them navigate stressful situations by finding the silver lining. Joy could also depend on Hope as a close friend and confidant, as they would be the only emotion who doesn't dwell on the negatives of any situation.
And my job is to protect her from the scary stuff she can't see. I plan for the future.
Number 5. Greed. When the creators of Inside Out were workshopping the emotions that could be in the film, greed was one of the few who didn't make the final cut. Everyone feels greed in some way, either wanting more for themselves, wanting success above others, or prioritizing their gains. When Riley is reintroduced in the sequel, she's shown as a good friend, and she wholeheartedly believes she's a good person who prioritizes her friendships. Assumedly, she's very selfless, which may not be an excellent environment for greed to thrive. Joy manipulating Riley's sense of self to encourage good traits may have stifled Riley's natural feelings of greed. However, Riley exhibits greed-like traits after losing Joy's influence and her original sense of self. For example, she steals goals from the other hockey players, pushes people away, and ignores her teammates because she's desperate to score 3 goals before the game ends. Now that Riley has a new sense of self based on all her emotions and memories, greed may be able to enter headquarters, encouraging Riley to act in her own interests and desires.
Alright, who's ready for hockey camp?
The emotions make Inside Out well-loved and well-received in the film industry, as they provide a significant representation of how people, especially children, experience the world around them. The sequel captures the pressures one feels when facing a sudden change, a new environment, and people. Anxiety claims Riley needs more sophisticated emotions to help her during the transition period, and the emotions do help her express some of her more socially induced emotions, such as envy and embarrassment. As Riley learns how to manage her current emotions, more will likely arise with age, also doing her part to help her grow and achieve her goals.
Well, come on up here, onward. Am I saying right?
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, hit that like button, subscribe to our channel, and turn on notifications to stay updated on our uploads.
Love the energy, but you're being silly. None of this will actually happen.
Right, whatever you say, you're the boss.